All right. Welcome to my podcast about success, peace, and hope. Thank you very much for being here. Today we have a pleasure of having Marvin Fleming to speak with us about what success really means and peace and hope. Welcome, Marvin.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks much, Stuart.
Yeah. And so today we'll be talking about what success means. And to begin with, Marvin is going to tell us more about what he used to do in his life. And and then we'll start from there.
Well, I first of all like to say thank you for having me on your show. Life has been one hell of a go for me. That's because I was taught by my parents to stay on the line of the right thing to do, the line of working hard, the line of being happy. All those things make you have eventually have a good life. And so I'm originally from Compton, California, and I guess I was raised with I had guidance from my mom and my dad to show me the right way to do things. And so I never forgot those things, even no matter where I was or what I did. I had what is called a good moral mapping. I have good morals. I don't want to hurt anybody. I want to be happy. Happy is my one thing.
Yep.
And so I'm going to throw it in right now about happy. A good football player friend of mine, I'm sure you've heard of him. His name is Joe Namath. And we were talking one day, and he says, "Marvin, what do you think the number one thing in life is?" And I thought, and I wanted to say it, but he said it. He said, "Marvin, it's health. Health is the number one thing." And so from then on, I've always remembered he said, that's why I brought that up. It came off the top. But being healthy, that's number one, and doing the right thing and working hard. I'm from Compton, went to the University of Utah school, all Mormon college, but at that point in time, it was all, I was the first, yes, man of color, to play football. Correction, there was a guy who played 20 years before I did, but I was the first at that time to play. And I had a great time. I'm glad I went there because I learned a lot from other people. I wanted to get an education. I wanted to learn the right thing, not the wrong things. And we're grown up to know yes and no, right and wrong. And that's how I grew up, knowing right and wrong. And when wrong came along, I turned my back. I said no. When right came around, I said, maybe. Tell me about it. How hard is it going to be? Well, Marvin, it's going to be hard if you want to do it. I said, climb the mountain, climb the largest mountain in the world. You think I can do that? Yes, you can do that. Kilimanjaro. But I can't do that. Well, can you get halfway? Maybe. Then you can do it then. If you can get halfway on something, you can do it. Because it doesn't take that much more. It'll take a lot more mentally to get there than physically. Because you'll be fighting, can I do it? Can I do it? Yes, you can do it. I'm talking about in school, on your job, anything you do. So my life is I'm not really a structured beast, but things have to be the same if you want things right.
Yep.
And so tell me, I'm sorry I got off.
No, thank you very much for like explaining, because that's the embodiment of what success and how you can be successful. Like as former NFL player, like having played 12 seasons, both with the Green Bay Packers and the Miami Dolphins, with having the first like undefeated season, the perfect season, you would have so much to tell us more about like what really success means, because you have done it, right? You have been there, you've been on the mountain, and now as you like continue to grow with the newer experiences.
It's even though I've been to the top of the mountain, there's other things that I'm starting out at the bottom. And those things I still have to use the same formula of getting up and hard work, stick-to-itiveness. You've got to be, it's called the singleness of purpose.
Singleness of purpose.
The singleness of purpose. Yes, you have to think about, this is what I'm going to do, and there's going to be a lot of roadblocks in front of you, but you can't let that happen. You got to stick to the plan, and that plan is to be on top. I always wanted to be good. I wanted to be good, but I know there are people who were great, and I worked hard, and I wanted to be great too, and I worked hard, and I wanted to be great. Like, I was looking all over for these people. I'm working so hard because I was focused on being the best I can be and the best in that area. And I never found them. Somebody says, Marvin, that's because you're the best. And so I like working hard. I like doing things. I like doing things right.
Yeah.
You got to do it right.
So that means, like, from what you're saying is like you have to work hard. One of the things that if you want to have success, you have to work hard, but then you also have to do it right. And so is there like, because some say like you have to work hard and then you do it right the first time. Is there like, for you, like, does it really matter if you have to do it right the first time, or do you have to do it, as long as you do it right, it doesn't matter when it has to be?
Well, it's hard to do anything the first time. You have to gather yourself, gather the plan of how you're going to do it. Because anybody just do it the first time, no. You have to go back and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. And I did it! I did it because I did it again and again. I knew what to do because things don't happen the first time. And a lot of times people give up, and you can't give up if you want to do something right.
You have to keep on working through it, even though you don't get it right the first time.
Exactly, right.
Okay, thank you. So could you please share a little bit, like, if you, like, during your NFL career or like in your life, have you ever experienced, like, what was your biggest challenge while like you're playing, and how did you overcome it?
Well, I can say offhand, my biggest challenge was to do my part. There's 11 guys out there on the field. Do my part. Make sure that you do your part, because everybody else, don't worry about anybody else, but do what you have to do to keep the puzzle together, to keep the men together. And that was my biggest challenge, is because the challenge each one of us have is surmountable. It's a big, if you can just do half of it or 3/4 of it, and everybody else do 3/4, you're going to win. But if I can't do it, I quit. No, quitting is not a word in my vocabulary. Can't quit.
You can't quit.
You can't quit. Especially if you want it. If you want it bad enough, you'll stay in the game. And I speak like that because I'm talking a little bit football. Staying in the game, not quitting.
Not quitting. Thank you. And so then weaving through that, just not quitting. And so how would you advise someone who, like me, who wants to achieve success in any field? How would you advise them to just not to quit? How do they keep motivated to just keep on doing what they want to do?
Well, there are all kinds of whatever field you want to go into, there's all kinds of people who've in that field already, or who are people who, if you want to go somewhere, talk to the people who are coming back. Talk to the people who's done it. Enlighten yourself, broaden yourself, expand your mind, and you'll find out you'll never get tired because there's always something else to learn in that field until you become the number one man in that field. But there's always somebody. I mean, even if you have to go looking for them, if you have to text them.
You have to find a way to talk to find somebody who has been in the field and then talk to them about what they have experienced.
And if they're I think if they're good enough and they're smart enough and they find a person who have that hunger for that field like you do, they're going to see that. And they're going to say, here, I'll help you. I'll help you go down this road that I went down. Yeah, there's going to be people like that. There were people like that for me.
Thank you very much, Marvin. So then transitioning about the people around you, transitioning into peace, because one of big other part is once you're going on this journey that you're trying to go on, it's sometimes lonely. Sometimes you have to wake up very early in the morning to work, and you ask yourself, why am I doing this? How am I ever going to achieve what I'm going to achieve? Sometimes you don't find the people that have been there. So how do you collect yourself and your thoughts to achieve that inner peace and have the hope to keep going? Even though in the sleepless nights, even when you're sitting down in your basement writing all those books that you're trying to write, but for some reason the words can't come. How do you gain that inner peace for you? How did you do it while you're playing football?
I know there was times when I was hurt and I had to play. Yeah, I was hurt and I still had to play because we didn't have another man with the abilities that I have in my position. You keep going. I mean, it's almost like walking, you get to the top of the hill, and you come to the top of the hill, and you look over, oh my God, look at that. Oh, wow. I mean, I'm sure glad I worked hard for all this. Look at that. Oh God. And that's for me? I did it? Yeah.
Wow.
That's how it's happened to me, because there are times when I go I go running on the beach. I'm just running on the beach. Why are you running, Marvin? I'm running to get ready, so when the season comes, I'll be ready. I'm running so that when I catch that football, I want to do something with it. There's a reason I'm running. There's a reason I'm practicing. And when you lie there in bed thinking about thinking about other people, no, think about yourself, because only you can help yourself, and you got to just fight it.
Okay, so it's sort of what you're telling us. It's like you have the dream in your heart or in your head of where you want to go, and that picture burns bright in your head, and so you keep it there, even in the sleepless nights, even when you're running and other people are just enjoying life, that picture keeps you going. It's like a fire that keeps you going along the way.
It's like a fire, like a bright light saying,
yes.
And you have it in your heart and you have it in your head. I want to do this. I want to do this. Pretty soon, you're going to, here it is.
Yeah.
here it is because you spent days and nights and weeks thinking and writing and doing all these kinds of research and doing all these things. And there it is.
There it is.
What? I mean, you ran like 20 miles and there it is.
Yeah, it's like that's what when I'm doing my marathons.
Yeah.
Like you're running 26.2 miles.
Yeah.
But at mile 20, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Like, I am never going to run this. Like, why? Like, you don't. But then, once you cross that finish line at 26.2 miles and you just see everyone cheering you on,
That's right.
then you're like, oh, this is the reason why I'm doing it. This is the reason why I have to run these miles.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. But what about once you have this picture of what it's going to be, but that picture 10 years down the road, it's no longer the same picture of what you really thought it's going to be. It doesn't work out. Has that ever happened to you where you knew something is going to work out and it doesn't happen or doesn't work out?
Well, I think about that in football a lot. People ask me now, would I do it again? Knowing what it does to your body, I would have second thoughts about that. Because there's other things you can be a star in. To be honest, I did it for the money. Yeah, I did it for the money. There's people on the highway every morning go to work, and they hate their jobs. I didn't really hate my jobs, but I know that I was putting myself in harm's way. I saw a player get hurt on TV. He had a heart problem, and and boom, it flashed on me. Marvin, you got through the minefield. All those years, that really didn't happen to you. Little things happened to me, but not as big as the heart stopping like it did on this one ball player. And I'm saying, wow, I got through that minefield. And so, but I was lucky. Like I see myself as being one of the luckiest, one of the most fortunate players ever. And but I guess you have to be happy with yourself.
Happy with
Bottom
yourself.
line,
Yeah.
happy with yourself.
Happy yourself. Yeah. Having done 12 seasons, like you really went through the landfills, and
I did.
You just had to jump through, and here you are at the end of the field.
And I say, when the guys who started, when I started, I'm going to go out in left field and say, most of them are gone. Because hitting your head, hitting your body, hitting the post, pretty soon the post is going to go and you're going to go with it. It's going to fall down, I mean. And so, but there's all kinds of things. It's every day there's a new thing happening. On television you hear about the new tech stuff, all this new tech. I saw these robots playing soccer. There's all kinds of new things in life you can do. And if you have that energy to put in there and have that brain to do it, have fun. People are going to look at you and say, "Oh, that's stupid hell." No, it's not stupid. It's something that you love doing and want to do it, so you do it.
Do it. Thank you very much, Marvin. Our last question for today. Could you just share a story of how you overcome some significant thing in your life, and how did it change your perception of life in general?
Pacific in life, I've been awful fortunate to be able to go to school and get an education and represent myself in a good way, and to where I'm not intimidating. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'5" I'm tall, and I try to, when I meet people, I try to meet them eye to eye, not them looking up at me, not looking down at them, but I have even all the trophies and touchdowns and accolations I receive. When I walk in, I'm just as big as they are, just as tall as they are. I'm just as human as they are. I'm not the guy who scored the touchdown to win the game. I'm just Marvin. Hi, how are you? But Marvin, you won the game. No, forget about the game. I'm Marvin. What's your name? George. How are you, George? Where are you from, George? I'm like that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this is more personal. This is my personal question. I have a grievance with American football, and I hope you can help me sort it out.
Okay.
In Uganda, when we're playing football, what it means, it's soccer.
Right.
Like you're using your legs.
Mm-hmm.
But here, I find that people call it football, but it's more of handball.
More what?
Handball.
Handball?
Yeah, people are using their hands more than they use their legs. And so, why do they call it football rather than they calling it handball?
Well, that's one I didn't look up. I know football because we kicked it, and you also kick football too in Europe, you know, in Africa. You kick the ball.
Yeah, we kick the ball, but it's called rugby, which is a bit different. Yeah.
So I can't answer that. I've been spoiled with just American football, and that's when I say American football and European football and South American. They play soccer.
Soccer, yeah, it is fine. It's just something I think about. I'm why? Because they're just using their hands more.
Right.
But it's okay. All right. Thank you very much, Marvin, for your time.
Thank you.
Any parting thoughts that you may have for us? Anything that you want to tell us?
Well, all I can say is, if you are a good person, you're going to meet good people. And all I can say is try and be as tall as you can, because there's people always want to put you down. They want to put you down because they're down. Don't. Just say thank you, no thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, and a lot of times it's hard to say, a lot of times you can say, you can't do that to me. Just say, sir, I'm sorry, and walk away. Don't even. You're too big. You're the bigger man to walk away. And that's the way it was.
Thank you.
Cut.
All right. Yeah. So we're going to do my poem.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Where are you going to do it?
I am going to do it. Okay. All right. Could I change to where you are?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you. This is our poem for today. It's called Hope and Strength by Stuart Walkager. At first, all seemed good. Everything was going as it should. With my will and might, I believed that success was mine to achieve. Drawing power from those who came before us, I walked through life's open door. But with each attempt came failure, and hope began to feel like a stranger. Beneath the universe, above it too, good and bad were in the queue. Change was a constant force, but my confidence remained the source. Empowered by the universe's might, I found peace like waves in the night. For every failure was a step toward a future I never forget. Stumbling on the top of the path, I remembered the only way was up. Clashing thoughts, my inner contest. Success was what I longed to possess. But I felt the same as before, just like the millions who came before. Perhaps our fortune would change and would finally break away from the same. We waited for the day to arrive. Like a thief in the night, we hoped to thrive. But nothing changed. Our lives still sad. We longed for success to drive us mad. But maybe this is it, the moment we learn that success is not the ultimate return. It's the journey that brings joy and peace, and the strength to keep going, even when it feels like we'll never cease. Thank you very much.